Hey kids, do you like wrestling? Well, we like wrestling too. We are Shake Them Ropes here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Myself and Chris Novembrino kind of doing a lazy river of wrestling criticism, going through the news and whatever happened in stateside television wrestling. And also, you know what? Sometimes we just like to watch old stuff and talk about that too. Love for you to give us a listen. If you haven't already, we are Shake Them Ropes here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network.
Hello, Voices of Wrestling listener. Dave Ryan here. Have you ever wondered to yourself how many hidden gems are hidden away inside the last years of World Championship Wrestling? Have you ever asked yourself how many tenuous gags can be made about the name Mike Enos? And have you ever thought about what it sounds like for two Irishmen to interpret a very chaotic company through its B show? The answers to all this and more are just a click away. Check out Days of Thunder every second Thursday on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Here we go! Kiss me like a love song. 소란 너무 가오리.君へ片想い涙の失恋も Give me fire, give me that one try to say.
You're listening to the Emerald Flow Show on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.
Welcome to episode 35 of the Emerald Flow Show. We're a podcast on the Voice of Wrestling Podcast Network. You can follow us on Twitter at Emerald Flow Show, and you can listen to us on all podcast apps. And if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. And you can go to voicesofwrestling.com/donate to donate to the show if you're feeling generous and appreciate our work. I'm Gerard DeTroyo here with Paul Vosh. Paul, how are you doing?
Exhausted. It's really busy. We're peak time at work at the moment, but we're almost through it. The light at the end of the tunnel is visible, and going to be so looking forward to just taking all of this overtime during the summer. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Also, I paid off the last of my student loans.
Oh wow! Congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment.
Yes. That's also a nice chunk of money that I will now have available to me per month.
Definitely. And so, much like your life, professional wrestling in Japan doesn't stop either. We have a very strange story that I think we need to start the show with. What the heck is going on with Yasutaka Yano and Kinya Okada?
Yeah, so basically what happened is at the beginning of the Green Journey and Sendai, they do the normal card rundown, and in there everything is still normal. Yano is still in the opening match with Taishi Ozawa. Kinya Okada is in the following match after that in the 6-man tag. And basically right after they do the rundown, they announce that matches 1 and 2 have been changed. And it's now Anthony Green versus Taishi Ozawa, and also Akitoshi Saito has joined the following 6-man tag match. And then Keno comes out and cuts this stalling promo to start the show. That was also the other weird part of all
Did
of
you
this,
see
because they
Keno's
don't really
demeanor?
do that. Yeah, like he was
It
also
looked off.
he also seemed off. Yeah, and especially because then in the second match, Saito doesn't come out in his wrestling gear. He just comes out in his pants. So like
I'm
he
impressed he
very
did not.
clearly was supposed to wrestle.
I'm impressed he did not rip his pants.
Yeah, no, that was even more impressive. It was probably also the only, like, very clearly the only pair he had, because he brought that later on commentary. Like,
Yeah.
he really had a really weird night, because not only did he have to wrestle when he wasn't prepared to, he also had the luchadors that later in the show, when they did their dives, nearly smash his phone as well. So, yeah.
What a night.
Yeah. So, but basically, both Okada and Yano were removed from the card. There hasn't been an announcement. Like as far as I know, I didn't really see an like I think they just announced that they changed the matches, but gave no explanation for why. And also, on neither of them have been booked on any shows going forward as well. So this is clearly very weird situation. So what I've done then is, well, Noah has official English PR. So I simply went and wrote an email to Noah English PR and asked them if there is any official announcement regarding the status of both Kinya Okada and or Yasutaka Yano. And the only answer I got back was, and I can read it verbatim, "Hi Paul, thank you for the inquiry. There have been no official announcements made regarding Mr. Yano and Mr. Okada's status." So that is the official answer by Noah PR at this time, which is basically there is no announcement. There is no status announcement of them at this time, which is also weird, because if both of them were just like, for example, let's say like freak injury, like both of them get injured, like during
Or
warm-ups
both tested
whatever, and they need
positive
to
for
be
COVID.
replaced.
Or both tested positive for COVID.
Yeah, like that could just be something you could announce.
Yeah.
Like they have done that in the past. If something like that happens, if they need to change the card due to injury or due to like someone coming in with a high fever, like I don't think I've seen any promotion in Japan that has been like, oh yeah, we can't announce it publicly. Like I think generally they have been pretty transparent on that.
Yes.
So that obviously opens up the room to a lot of speculation on what is actually happening here.
Okay, so when I heard that this had happened, I was a little confused and didn't realize that this all had happened like right as the show started. So if they did something like I brought up the Hokuto Omori situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that like was something that happened like outside of a show, and he did not get things changed like at the last minute. Something happened, like I don't know for sure, and I don't want to speculate too much, but it seems like something happened backstage before the show.
Yeah, and it's also with the Hokuto Omori thing, like he didn't even get stopped booked. Like he was still booked. Like the only reason they even made that public, that like they like docked his pay and told him to not drink alcohol for like, how much was that? Like 2 weeks? It wasn't even that long.
Like a couple months.
A couple of months, okay. But still, like the only reason that happened was because it happened like at like it happened in front of sponsors, so they had to do something publicly.
Yeah.
But again, like he was still getting booked, so yeah, like this is a very mysterious situation, and I also have a feeling that we'll probably never find out, because Noah has been really tight. Like Noah, generally speaking, is pretty tight-lipped when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really expect there to ever be an official announcement, unless it somewhere is an injury and they were like waiting for like a diagnosis, like for it to be like for an official diagnosis. But again, it's been like a couple of days now, so I wouldn't even know what would take long to diagnose that.
Well,
they
and
couldn't have
not to
announced
mention
that
it's two guys at once.
Yeah, it's two guys at once. That is also the other weird part, and it's two of the younger guys too.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not gonna get into any. I'm not gonna get into
No.
guessing games.
No,
or
I
anything.
also don't want to. Yeah.
But it's very
it
strange, especially in a Japanese company.
Yes.
For something like
And I've
this
seen
to
there
happen at
have
the
been
last
like
minute.
people on like Japanese Twitter as well that have been like noticed that both of them are absent. And like, yeah, there is definitely some wild speculation going on, which we don't really want to do, but it is definitely, I think what we can very safely say that it is a very strange situation going on with both of them at the moment.
A true conspicuous by their absence.
Yeah.
So, that's that. And that is like that. What we heard from Noah PR is basically all we've got, right? So,
Yeah.
I would not take anything else you read on Twitter as.
No. Everything else you read on Twitter is probably like, unless, I don't know, like Okada, like unless like both get released and then Okada and Yano start like shooting on Twitter or whatever, like, okay, then there's something here, but I doubt it's like, I kind of doubt it's that bad of a situation. So
Well, they're
I
off other
wouldn't expect
upcoming
it.
shows.
Exactly, but I also have a feeling that they might just like be quietly like back on like the schedule in like a couple of weeks or months, or I don't know, and they'll never actually mention what actually happened here. And maybe in like, I don't know, 10 years or so, we'll find out what actually happened.
Yeah. So that's that. So very strange, but we will keep you posted if we find out anything else that is reliable. We're not going to speculate or anything like that. So the other big news in the past week is for the first time in like 10 years, we're getting another All Together show on June 9th at Sumo Hall. It will be All Japan, New Japan, and Noah. And probably maybe some big name freelancers. But this is probably, there was speculation that there was going to be some sort of big show once they got out of the pandemic. Paul, what do you think of them running Sumo Hall and not Budokan or Yokohama Arena?
That is very interesting. Like, I don't know if there was like a scheduling conflict and they couldn't get them, and so they settled for Sumo Hall. But I mean, but then again, it is kind of around the time when like New Japan was running Sumo Hall for the Best of the Super Juniors final, like recently.
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure when I was in Japan in 2019, like that was around that time. So it might just be that New Japan was like, yeah, hey, we already have like a booking on Sumo Hall on this day. Do we just want to use that for the show? Like that might legitimately be all the reason why.
Yes. Have they announced the dates for Best of the Super Juniors yet? And where are the finals? I haven't seen it.
I don't know. Yeah. We might need to check in with our podcast partners over at the Super J-Cast, where maybe you're gonna see something with them related to the All Together show at some point.
Mm-hmm. I mean, now if you've ever seen the previous All Together shows, they're all multi-man tags featuring like someone from each company on each team and everything like that. Yeah. Do you expect that this time?
The cynic in me says yes. The optimist in me is like, no, we're gonna get an actual show, and they're gonna run back Okada and the Kaito at this.
That's too small a venue to run that show, that match.
Yeah,
back.
that too. That too.
But what about this, Paul? What about the main event being Kaito and Kento versus Okada and Tanahashi?
That would be a really cool idea. But
yeah,
in that case, does Kaito get pinned in that then?
Well, see, here's the thing. If they don't acknowledge it on that show, then that feud is dead and it's over.
Yes. Yeah.
If they sort of restart it, then it's obviously something that's going to go somewhere. Yeah. But the cynic in me says it's done, and that was just to put people in the dome for Muto's retirement.
Yes. Yeah, that's the feeling I got as well. So, yeah, I think that, and I mean, if we get even more of a feeling for that if the two of them aren't even in the same match at all, because then it's just, everyone's completely moved on now.
Truly ridiculous and everything like that. What did you think of, is Kaito still the ace of Noah? Because he was at the press conference with Tanahashi and Kento.
I mean, is Tanahashi the ace of New Japan?
Technically, yes, he's still
self-professed ace of New Japan.
He is still the public face. He does more public face of the company stuff than Okada does.
True.
Still to this day.
Okada doesn't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... I mean, actually, I kind of realized that might actually be a kayfabe reason, because Okada is still a member of Chaos and Tanahashi is in the home army. Anyway, but that's besides the point. I mean... Who else would it be? Be quite honest. It's definitely not Jake. Go is just
Mar
coming
Fuji?
back from an injury. No, no, no. I don't think like he is still he is like
He's
definitely one of the
technically their
most
biggest
respected
star.
members of the roster, but I wouldn't call him the ace.
Right. Not anymore. No.
No, I would say more. He's like in a situation where like I think a comparable figure would be like Suwama in All Japan.
Well, it's funny because I was going to bring up Mr. Suwama. Does he politic his way into the main event of that show?
I mean, he might. If you make it a 6-man tag, you kind of have to put him in there.
Like Kento, and like Tanahashi versus like Suwama. I don't know, whoever, and Sugera or something like that. I don't know.
So what are the odds in that case that Kaito eats a backdrop from Suwama and gets pinned?
Probably not, but I wouldn't put them at 0.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem of this whole situation. Actually, okay, if we're talking of potential people being in the main event of this show, and this is actually more of a serious one, what do we think is the likelihood that All Japan would push for Yuma Ansai to be in the main event of this show?
If it's an 8-man tag, yes. But if Ansai's in, Suwama's not. Because Kento's obviously going to be in the main event. I think that's safe to say.
But I also feel like that's one of the things where Suwama would probably be willing to, like, forego his spot.
Yes. I think Ansai will have I think they'll do another, like, All Japan versus New Japan Young Lion thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe throw in Taishi Ozawa in. Right? Because they still have that sort of Nakashima
Yasutaka
versus...
Yano. Oh, wait.
They still have... what was I going to say? Oh, they still have like the Nakashima versus Ansai thing that they've been building.
Yeah.
So
but
I would assume a match like that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you give like that might actually be one of the few singles matches on this show.
Yep, because there won't be many. And when it's singles matches on these shows,
Ansai gets the pin, yeah.
Yeah, it's either rookies or like dead end mid carders that get singles matches.
Yeah.
Oh
god, we're gonna get like Black Mansoray versus like Toriano again.
We already got that.
Yeah, we already got that. That's true. Or what's his name again? The Ass Man.
Taguchi, Ryusuke Taguchi.
Yeah, Taguchi versus Black Mansoray.
Yeah, it'll be something like that, right?
I really hope. I know we shouldn't be too confident that the card is gonna be better than that, but like, I really hope we get at least a little bit of something we can sink our teeth into and not just that kind of drivel.
That'd be nice, but you just can't.
Yeah,
rely
too
on
much
that.
Politics involved.
Look at the first Noah versus New Japan show.
Yeah.
And look at everything on that show that wasn't like Congo versus LIJ.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can say that for the second one as well, kind of.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you go and you look back at one of the altogether main events, wasn't it like Tanahashi, Suwama, and like Sugera or something, or Go maybe, versus like... Oh yeah, and Kenzo Suzuki was the fall guy.
Of course he was.
Right? So it will be all of the top stars of the companies in like a 6 or 8 man tag, I assume.
Yeah. Oof, that rating for the last one is dire.
Yeah, so it'll be on pay-per-view on New Japan World, and some proceeds will be donated to charity from the show.
Yeah, so the main event of the 2012 one was Tanahashi, Suwama, Morishima versus Shiozaki, Sanada, and Naito. Like, minus Morishima, you could probably run that match back.
You could run that match back, yeah. That's funny. You could put Inamura in there or something.
Inamura is the Morishima replacement.
Wow. No.
But actually, in the main event, Morishima pinned Shiozaki. So
Okay. But yeah, you're gonna get something like that with all the top names in the
yeah,
in a match
because
like
I think
that.
that was also when Go was an All Japan guy. Yeah, it was like
No, that was before.
Was it before? Oh yeah, right. Okay, so then Sanada was the All Japan guy. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is all together. Any final thoughts on the show before we move on to Pro Wrestling Noah?
No, not really. I think.
Okay.
I wanted to know that.
So we go to Pro Wrestling Noah. I made a stupid mistake and I forgot to watch the 2 shows leading into Sendai.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, you watched one of them. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah. So the one that I watched, which was the one on the 9th, most of the stuff on the show was honestly not very memorable. Like it's really kind of like a lot of like missable stuff. The one thing I would recommend from that show though is the main event, which was Takashi Sugiura versus Masakita Miya. I thought that one was really, really good. I think, yeah, I actually went 4 stars on that one. Like, and I think I actually liked it more than I did the title match later.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I thought this was really, really good. Yeah, I mean, just Segura and Masakita Miya just kind of like I mean, like they kind of have the formula at this point, like given the amount of like singles matches they've had, especially recently. But like it's a really good formula, and it's just 2 bulls just charging into each other, and yeah, no, it was a ton of fun, and went 21 minutes 56, and Segura won as well. So yeah, that's the one that I would recommend. Like I think the rest of it is kind of like it's very easily skippable, especially since the show they were building up to has already happened as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then, so we go on to Noah Green Journey 2023 in Sendai in front of 1,277 fans. I don't know if that's a good or a bad number.
I think it's an okay number. Like it's
Yeah.
not like New Japan puts more people in there. Like I think even during pandemic time, they put more people in there, which isn't great, but I think they actually put more people in there than Stardom did. So
Okay.
so I think that's kind of like solidifies kind of where Noah is. Like
But
it's
can
obviously
Noah draw
nowhere
more
close.
than Can Noah draw more than 1,500 fans for a big show? They haven't since Muto retired, right? Mind you, it's only been 2 months, but
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I
the
think the
Sumo
Sumo Hall
Hall-
shows yeah, that's a big. If they don't draw that many there, that like then that's definitely
they got to draw at
Very
least 2,000 to Sumo Hall, right?
yeah.
I mean, they will, right?
I mean, it's probably why they put Marufuji in the main event.
Yes, that's very true. So we start off in the match that was not announced ahead of time, that was changed at the last minute. Anthony Green defeated Taishi Ozawa in 4 minutes and 59 seconds with the M83. Solid opener. I think these Ozawa matches need to be given a couple more minutes, though, because a lot of them are like 5 minutes or 4 minutes and like 45 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I also feel like one thing I'm hoping for is that just based on what All Japan is doing currently with Yuma Anzai, that hopefully, like if it works, that will lead to like a bit of a like change in the way like these guys are brought up in Japan.
Well, Kaido
Because-
was unique. Kaido was unique.
Yeah, Kaido was as well, but again, it wasn't as fast as like because I feel like Ozawa doesn't really learn anything from these like sub 5 minute matches. Like I'm
No.
not saying that he should give him like the same kind of push that like All Japan is giving Anzai, but I feel like he definitely would like benefit from having like longer matches and everything like that, and maybe yeah. So yeah, I also feel like these need to be longer for Taishi Ozawa because I do think he has a lot of talent.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's got a ton of talent, but
Yeah.
But the match stuff was solid. Like I think Green continues to improve in Noah, and
Green is also a
Ozawa's-
trainer. So, like, and I don't know if he's doing any stuff in the Noah dojo, but he's a trainer like back in the US, so he obviously knows how to work.
Oh,
with
okay.
rookies.
I did not know that actually. Okay.
No, it was actually one of the few. So during like the height of the pandemic, but like during the like early part of the pandemic, when basically everything else was shut down, like pretty much everything else was shut down. It was like literally like that was like when the flagship was covering 2AW and Big Japan because they were literally the only promotions running. And that this was even before like GCW started running shows again. The only shows that were running were shows which was just Anthony Green with his trainees doing like shows in like a warehouse where they were training. Like that was like the only shows running at that point. So, and I did watch them because again, there was nothing else to watch.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. So that's the kind of guy that you definitely want in there. And maybe that's why he got it. So next up, we had No Holding Back. Hideki Suzuki, Timothy Thatcher, and Saxon Huxley defeated Akitoshi Saito, Yoshiki Inamura, and Sean Legacy in 8 minutes and 13 seconds with a diving knee drop from Huxley on Saito. Poor Saito gets called up at the last minute just to do a job.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. Like I'm happy he did the job and it wasn't like Inamura or Legacy. So, I mean,
so
what do you think of Legacy so far?
I think he's got something.
Yeah,
he looked pretty good.
Think so too.
He held his own against Hideki pretty well, I thought. And yeah, I mean, he's better than Saxon Huxley, that's for sure.
Yeah. Do you think he's good looking?
Yes, I think he's good looking.
So because
he has a better claim to that
than Anthony Green, yeah. Because I think like if he sticks around, like I probably would put him like with the good-looking guys, because I think he fit in well with them.
Yes, I think so too. His style fits in; it's a little flashy. He's like on that edge of junior and heavyweight in, say, a New Japan, but I think he'll be a heavyweight in Noah.
Yes, yeah, I think he's very easily a heavyweight in Noah, and yeah, I think he's a good addition. I think from what I've seen, like obviously I haven't seen a lot from him yet, but like what I've seen looked pretty good, and seems to be like he also like because very often for like people early on in their Japan run, they sometimes seem a bit lost, and I think don't really see that with him. Like he just basically immediately seems comfortable, which is good as well.
Well, I think I mean obviously he's talented, but I think Hideki also like held his hand a bit.
Yeah. I mean, Hideki is kind of like I mean, he seems to be pretty involved in like all of the like foreigner bookings to some degree at the very least.
Yes, he likes his foreigners. He's like, I need a like a Matt guy. I need a Bruiser Brody. I need, what else could he do?
Well, I mean, Timothy Thatcher is just brother from another mother. For like they're basically the same person. One's Japanese, the other one's American. That's the only difference.
Yeah. And so, but the Saxon Huxley getting a win will be a reason for something later. Next up, we go to Wild and Free. Maya Yukihi defeated Sumari Natsu in 6 minutes and 31 seconds with the whiteout. I know I saw some people say this was disappointing. I thought it was a perfectly fine, acceptable, solid minute match for 6.5 minutes. And I thought it was interesting that Sumari just sort of wrestled this straight and didn't do much shtick.
Yeah, no, it was fine.
But I don't have a lot to say otherwise.
I don't know. Like my thing is more like, what's the goal here? Like at the very least, when like All Japan is doing, like at least when New Japan is doing like the women's match, it's very clearly like an advertisement for Stardom, or it's like trying to push their profile in America by bringing in like a Mercedes Moné. So when All Japan was doing their women's stuff, like at least they had like a storyline with like Suwama versus Unagi and everything. Like there was like a reason to be excited about it. Like I don't really get why Noah is doing this. Like I don't know if there's like a larger plan or if this is just a thing they're doing because New Japan is doing it.
A little from that, but I mean, Shanshiro Takagi once did say in an interview that he would be interested in doing like a more serious women's traditional promotion as opposed to like the idol heavy thing of TJPW.
Mm.
So maybe there's some of that involved too. Like, can they get away with a more serious Joshi presentation?
But then why do you bring in Sumire?
That's the thing, right? You know, I like Sumire, so I don't want to beat up on her too much.
No. But like, if your goal is to be more serious than Tokyo Joshi Pro, like, I don't know if that's the person. Like, especially considering like all of the talent floating around there right now that are like female freelancers or in like dying promotions, where you could probably bring one of those in instead.
Yeah, someone from. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, you've seen people like pop up in Stardom again, and more that are about to pop up in Stardom. Someone like decoded like Julia's secret new like Donna Del Mondo member and everything like that. And so what has happening is like, you know, Stardom is getting them first, or most of them first, right? So you have your like reliable freelancers like Sumire and Yukihi, right? But you're going to lose that. Like Saori Ainu is now in Stardom.
Yeah. But I mean, again, that's like the reason, like, if you actually want to do this seriously, then you probably like need to put some money behind that and just sign people so that they can't go to Stardom. Because that's also the problem, is that the Stardom roster is like really bloated now. So
yeah,
you could probably convince someone to be like, yeah, you can go to Stardom and be like one of many, or you can like be the person that we build around here.
Well, here's the thought. Do you convince Momo Watanabe to jump?
Ooh.
Because she's lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. That would be spicy.
Like she's been passed over. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
And she's not going to be like, they're not going to go back to her.
No. So, and I mean, if you don't want to like give the money to like Tokyo Joshi to like have her go, but then again, I don't know if she would fit in well there.
No.
Yeah. So like, if you're actually serious about it, then yeah, you need to like get yourself someone that is a centerpiece for what you're trying to do here. Like New Japan has done with Mercedes Moné, where like she's very clearly like a New Japan person, not a Stardom person.
Yeah.
You probably need someone like maybe not a foreigner, but you definitely need someone like that is very clear. It's like, hey, we're actually kind of serious about this, and this is the person that we're presenting as like the star of whatever we're trying to build here.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
And as much as I like Maya Yukihi, I don't think she's that person.
I don't think she's ace. No. I think she's like, could be the top foil for your ace.
Yes. No, that is exactly her role. Like she's a great foil. She's a great heel. She's not like, not really someone that you want to like, that you put in like a PR opportunity with like the belt around her shoulder.
Yeah, for sure. So, and then we'll get to this later, but there will be more Joshi and Stardom. So you can look forward to that. Next up, Might Makes Right. Keno, Jinsei Shinzaki, Shuji Kondo, Hajime Ohara, and Hiroki defeated Naomichi Marufuji, Kaito Kiyomiya, Ninja Mac, and Atsushi Kotoge and Seki Yoshioka in 14 minutes and 21 seconds with a Nenbutsu powerbomb from Shinzaki on Kotoge. I almost forgot Yoshioka was in this match because I can barely remember him doing anything in it. But I mean, this was solid. This was just about like, okay, local Sendai guy, Shinzaki, teaming with Kongo. And obviously Keno and Shinzaki have a history because they were, you know, Keno came up through Michinoku Pro and everything like that. But yeah, it was like a local offer match with some stars and everything, but it was perfectly fine.
Yeah, no, it was a perfectly acceptable match. And actually, I thought Shinzaki looked good as well for what he did in there.
Yeah.
So, like, he's still like, he's obviously not what he used to be, but I think, like, especially if he's in there in like in a multi-mind match and everything, I think he still looks really good. I actually liked the stuff that he was doing with Ninja Mac as well. Like, that was actually a ton of fun at the start of the match.
That might have been the highlight.
Yeah.
And so after that, we had the Lollapalooza Fiesta. Dralistico, Dragon Bane, and Alejandro defeated Extreme Tiger, Alpha Wolf, and Lancelot in 7 minutes and 41 seconds by referee stop because Extreme Tiger got knocked out by a was that an Alpha Wolf knee?
Yeah, it was
on a
a
standing
moonsault
moonsault?
from Alpha Wolf.
Yeah. And then poor Lancelot got hit with like
Oh
a
no,
couple
wait,
of
not Alpha Wolf,
splashes.
from Dragonbane. Sorry, it was his brother.
Oh, was it Dragonbane?
Yeah.
Okay. But then Extreme Tiger, they didn't stop it right away because Extreme Tiger got hit with like some top rope splashes
God, yeah, poor guy.
before
was
they
just, like,
realized.
knocked out.
Now he was moving on his own, like when they were taking him to the back, so he just got knocked loopy, thankfully.
Yeah.
And then they decided to continue with that handicap match because then it became Dralistico, Dragonbane, and Alejandro defeated Alpha Wolf and Lancelot in 2 minutes and 22 seconds with the La Mystica from Dralistico on Wolf. And once they got the crowd back by just doing a bunch of wild dives.
Yeah. I mean, it's also like, oh, hey, one of our like co-workers just got injured. What's the best thing to do now? Okay, let's just do like the absolute craziest dives we can think of, where we also completely overshoot the target as well.
Yes,
Like,
and
Yeah, I
almost
mean, it was
destroying
cool to see, but it was like, wow, that's a choice, but okay, it looked cool, so like it's fine.
Yeah, I thought Dralistico looked a little better here than he has in some of his other Noah showings so far. I don't know, Paul. How do you feel about these luchadors? Because we could question whether they have the best reputations personally, or really if they're that good in the ring, like with Lancelot and even Dralistico. I don't know. Where are you with them?
I don't know, it just feels like such a random grab bag of people as well. And then they're just in these like random matches, and like they rarely ever feel like actually integrated with the promotion. They're just like kind of off doing their own thing. Like, I mean, at least
Mhm.
Dragonbane and Alpha Wolf get like a junior tag title shot now. Like, but it's like that's really the
Yeah.
only times they like get these tag title shots where they ever feel like integrated with the rest of the promotion. Like, it's very weird.
Right. It is.
Like, I would prefer it if they like would join like factions or something like that, and weren't just like random members of the roster.
Right, and obviously like Dragonbane and Alpha Wolf especially are in like their own universe.
Yes, they're in the Dragonbane and Alpha Wolf universe, where they're only ever like allowed to be in matches where they're either facing each other or teaming with each other, and that's all that's allowed. And then they go back to Japan, then they go back to Mexico, and I really have the feeling that they're only doing this to like sell themselves to promoters as like, we're wrestling in Japan, so pay us more. Like, quite honestly, that's what this feels like.
Is that the vibe you get? Okay.
Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting off of
Yeah.
this.
Okay, I could see that, but so I don't know. But I don't think they're going anywhere. That's the thing.
No,
They're
no,
not
they
bad.
very clearly seem to be. No, they're not bad. Like I would say that both of them are better than Dralistico, or like.
I like Dragonbane and Alpha Wolf regardless of their reputations. It's like the Lancelots, and even, well, I'll give Dralistico a little more of a chance. But I'm finished with Lancelot. I don't need to see him.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, but Dralistico, I'm also like, I've seen him so many times back in CMLL, and he's still the same guy. So I'm just like, I get why you want to give him a chance because he is really solid, but like, this is literally all you're gonna get out of him because that's who he is and that's how he's always been.
Yeah, and it's sort of interesting that they're competing with great for like
But
young
they're like
luchadors.
consistently getting the less good ones. That's the problem.
No, I get. Well, Shima is better at Nosawa than this, I guess.
Well, but who realistically pays more? I don't know.
Well, I would assume
I mean, I don't know.
Noah.
Maybe Noah is cheapskating, and that's why they're getting these luchadors. But like, in theory, they should be very easily able to like outbid Great on like a commander if they really wanted them.
Yeah, they should have Commander.
Yeah.
And then they what is
Or
it like?
as we talk about like every single time, it's like that they should have Galeno Demal because his brother is literally a champion in this promotion. Why is he in Great?
Yes, I feel like it's a matter of time.
Yeah.
Like,
Hopefully, better be.
Yeah, hopefully. Since they're both like, oh man, they would be perfect for a GHC tag title run too.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I
we'll
don't know,
see.
maybe the end one. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay, and then so we go back to the GHC tag team title. Volcanic Explosion. Takashi Sugiura and Shuhei Taniguchi defeated Masa Kitami and Daiki Inaba in 15:23 with a half Nelson suplex from Taniguchi on Inaba. These guys fail on their second attempted defense, and Taniguchi and Sugiura become the tag team champions. Sugiura is now a record 9-time GHC tag team champion. And
Yeah,
I
so
think
that means he's like
what Taniguchi's
the
went
record
like
for like
a ton of times too.
yeah, I think that's like he's like the record holder for like all of the heavyweight titles now, right? Because he already is like the record holder for the heavyweight title, and I'm pretty
He
sure
certainly
he's
has
the
the
record
longest
holder for the
single
national
reign.
title.
Yeah, he might be, or is it Keno?
Let
But
me
I'd have
take
to
a
check.
look. No, it is Takashi Sugiura. He is like him and Keno are the only 2-time champions, but he's held it for 371 days total, which is more than Keno at 299.
Okay, well there you go. So Sugiura adding
So
to
yeah,
his
so he's the record holder for like all
long
of
list
the
of
belts now.
achievements.
No, actually, he's not the record holder for like amount of days held. He is the record holder with amount of reigns, but he's actually only third in like number of days held. He's still behind Marufuji, who's at 1060, and Akitoshi Saito, who's at 1091.
Ah, interesting. Very interesting.
Depending on how long this reign is, he could very easily like he really only needs to hold it for like 3-4 months to actually get past both of those.
Okay. Well, I don't know because this title gets changed around a lot.
Yeah, but then again, then he just wins it back with a new partner. So
yeah. So I really like this match. I don't think it was the best match of the show, but I think it was like maybe the second or third best match of the show.
yes.
It was very good. It was hard hitting, like you expected, with like the Kitamiya and Sugiura stuff. I thought Taniguchi had a sort of gusto to him that you haven't seen him have in a long time, and everything like that. So it continues the trend of really great GHC tag team title matches that we've seen over the past year. But I mean, I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't time to end this Kitamiya and Inaba reign.
No. Especially to like go back to Sugiura as well, who had just held the belt not that long ago.
Yeah.
Feels like I like Sugiura, but like it's kind of getting a bit much now, and him just like constantly winning the tag titles. Like,
yes.
I don't know. I definitely agree. Like I think there was still like time left in this Masakita Miya Daiki Inaba title reign, and yeah, I don't know. Instead, we're just launching into this like Sugiura gun dissolving storyline instead. So I don't know.
Featuring
I mean, maybe that frees up Masakita Miya to do more like All Japan stuff, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, I would hope so because that's still something that hasn't been done. And
Like,
All Japan's got some
hold. That's just on hold
the Champion
for the Carnival. Yeah.
Yeah, and All Japan's got some big shows to fill out in June and July.
Yeah.
So, or sorry, June and September. But God, I mean, but also like we're getting like Saxon Huxley as part of the story too, right? Like, my God. Right.
Yeah. We get like the new like 3-person faction with like Segura and Huxley and Thatcher. And okay, I mean, to be fair, I do like 2/3 of that faction, but
You mean Suzuki?
Yeah. Yes, Suzuki,
Huxley
Thatcher,
and Thatcher.
Yeah, Huxley. Yeah. Like I said, I like 2/3 of that, but that's still, I don't know, that still doesn't really excite me.
Sugero Gun was quite the faction, was it not?
Yeah, it certainly existed.
It was very successful.
Yes.
right?
But it also petered out in
Fujita,
like a major way.
Fujita was the heavyweight GHC champion. Sugiura
Yeah.
was the national champion in Sugiura Gun. Bunch of tag title reigns. Sakuraba.
Yeah.
Was
Fujita
also
was
a
also
member.
national champion while he was a member of them as well.
Oh yes, that's true too. So,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it was a solid one, but it just kind of just went away. I think it weirdly died when Wagner won the national title. Like they only put it out of its misery now, but like it was kind of because Wagner just kind of stopped teaming with them, and then Segura was just busy with his tag team with Kojima, and also wasn't really teaming with them, and then it just
right.
faded. Yeah, I don't know. And then they were just at the show, were just like, yeah, okay, let's just officially end the faction because no one really wants it to be together anymore. So yeah, it
No.
definitely like in terms of like if you compare it to like a divorce, it's not like the couple that like falls apart in like a big argument. It's just the couple that just at some point it's just like, should we get divorced? Yeah, okay, I'm moving out tomorrow. Like that's kind of the weird vibe that I got here. It was very odd.
That is funny. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this thing died like an All Japan stable.
Yeah, no, I think that's the best comparison for me as well. Like, and they survived like a good chunk as well. Like they were around
They
for 4
did.
years.
Yeah. It's been that long, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
It started in March. It started in March 2019.
Well, that is a pretty good run.
Yeah, and the colonel of the faction was Kazuma Sakamoto asking Nosawa Rongai to stop his feud with Segura, and that's how Segura Gun was formed.
God almighty.
Yeah, they were actually around for the entirety of like Hideki Suzuki's WWE run because he joined them as like the next member, and then he left to go to WWE, and by the time he came back, the faction still existed.
Well, Hideki was a COVID cut, right?
Yeah, but he joined them in 2019.
Yeah. That's funny.
By the way, is Sakuraba still a member of the Noah roster?
I don't know.
He hasn't wrestled
feel
there
like
since January. Or at all since January.
I feel like he is probably just banged up, and that's why he doesn't wrestle that much.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
But he's not even on like the big shows, because at least like for example, like I asked myself that as well with like Fujita, but at least Fujita will pop in, like he's gonna pop in for the Sumo Hall show.
Right. But Fujita has a contract though. We knew that, right? Doesn't he not?
Yeah, he signed a contract last year, but yeah, who knows if that got extended or not. But yeah. But he's also been gone since like March, but he's coming back now for Sumo Hall.
It was probably a good idea to sort of what was I going to say? Cycle out some of those old guys.
No, that's
Muto
definitely
retired.
a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love the like if you read over like the last building he's worked Korakuen Hall, Eden Arena Osaka, Nippon Budokan, Korakuen Hall, the Collega Studio. And he wrestled for A-Team in December.
Oh, he wrestled for 8? I missed that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But that's still like that's a like one of these is not like the others.
No, definitely not. So yeah, R.I.P. Segura Gun. You had a pretty good run.
Yeah. No, I mean it was a pretty solid run. It was just at the end of it, it was just kind of like yeah. And what I'm actually curious about, because now we're actually like on the heavyweight side, there's basically just good-looking guys and Congo. So I'm wondering if we're gonna see like some new factions forming soon. Like especially like a faces kind of faction, because neither good-looking guys nor Congo are faces.
Right. So Kaido maybe leading something?
Yeah. but
Or
he likes
Go.
to team with Stinger, so I don't know what that says about his choice of people.
Mm-hmm. So then after that, we had for the GHC heavyweight or junior heavyweight tag team title, time for a change. Yohei and Tadasuke defeated Yoshinari Ogawa and Eita in 13 minutes and 34 seconds with a lariat from Tadasuke on Ogawa.
That tagline is the biggest lie ever. That tagline is such a lie. I mean, I guess you can say that if you want to say that, like, oh, we have new champions and it's a time for a change. But otherwise, this is a complete lie because we just keep this fucking Ogawa-Eita feud going until perpetuity, apparently.
Well, I'm of two minds of this. I actually thought the match was decent in terms of, okay, also keeping it to 13 and a half minutes is thankfully was a wise idea.
Mm-hmm.
I like the team of Tadasuke and Yohei.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're going to break up anytime soon. Although you can never say never.
Oh God! Division. Why did you say that?
Oh no, I've jinxed it.
Yes.
But it was time to put the titles on these good-looking guys team.
Mm-hmm.
Like hopefully they get something with this, and then Ogawa and Eita can go screw off somewhere and do their thing.
I hope they can do that in Mexico. Like I like Ogawa, but like I can't deal with this feud anymore. It's been going for like what feels like 2 years. It's not 2 years. It's like 1 year. But that's already that's already too much. It just doesn't end. And then they like, oh yeah, hey, we finally overcame our differences and we're teaming together now. And then we still immediately fall apart before we even lose it. Like that's the other thing where like they already were dysfunctional after defending the belts for like no reason, and then like I don't even know why like they were even pretending that hey maybe will these guys get along after they lose the belts. We already know they didn't get along after defending the belts. Why do you think we should believe that they would get along after losing them? Like what are we doing here?
Right. What are we doing here? So yeah, I mean, it continues even though I am cautiously optimistic about the new champions themselves.
Yes, no, I am as well. Like I'm actually looking forward to Alpha Wolf and Dragon Bane versus Yohei and Tadasuke. I think that actually should be a pretty good match.
Yeah, for sure. And then next up for the GHC national title, Sky's the Limit. Hio to Dr. Wagner Jr. defeated Jack Morris in 23 minutes and 4 seconds with a moonsault press for his third successful defense of the title. Paul, this was awesome. Match of the night.
Yeah, absolutely.
4.5 stars.
Same. Like this was so far and away the best match on the show. It was also the longest match on the show. It went even longer than the main event. Barely, but
23 minutes being the longest match on a Noah show is not bad these days.
No, it's not. But I thought this was awesome. Like I think, like I mean, we both were in agreement that we kind of wanted Morris to win here, but I don't think I can complain about Wagner defending the belt, like because he's just been awesome in this title reign.
He's been awesome. Morris is awesome here.
Yeah.
They really woke the crowd up.
Yes, because this
like
crowd
there was a noticeable
for the entire show.
Yeah, and there was a noticeable heat that they got, and the crowd was into everything they were doing and everything like that. And they stayed pretty decent for the rest of the show.
Yeah, and like that table spot was also insane that they did on the outside. No wonder it's been all over like Noah, like
table dives. Yeah, and then they did each other's finishers.
Mm-hmm.
Morris did the Wagner driver, and then Wagner did a Tiger driver, and lots of near falls. Yeah, just great stuff.
Yeah.
And I think these guys will be, after this match, you got to assume that Noah's going to probably do a lot with both of these guys, and they are the top two foreigners in the company.
Yes, no, I think that's very solidly established now. Like Ninja Mac is like the top foreigner in the junior division, but these two are like the top juniors in the heavyweight, the top juniors, the top foreigners in the heavyweight division, and I think Wagner is kind of like the top baby faced foreigner, because GLG is kind of heelish, and I mean I wouldn't say that Jack Morris really like completely like wrestles like a heel, but like for example, you had stuff like Anthony Green like pulling him out of the way, out of a dive and stuff like that. So like there's definitely
Right.
some heelish antics going on.
There's
Like
there's
not in an annoying way, but
tweenerness. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like it's a tweener thing. But yeah, I
Uh,
think these two guys are awesome, and yeah, great match.
Paul, question for you. I would need your opinion on this because I've seen other people say this. Do Wagner's mannerisms bother you?
No, because it's very clearly inspired by his dad, who rules as well. Like I
Yeah.
don't think he overdoes it. And again, as you mentioned, these two got the crowd involved. Like these two got like the
Yeah.
crowd hot and everything. And I think him doing that kind of stuff deliberately to like get the crowd to get going was one of the reasons why they managed to wake up during this match, because he very actively encouraged them to do that. And I don't think there's really all that many other people in Noah that kind of actively try to do that as much as he does.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. This is no, it's not exactly the crowd working company.
No. So I think that can only be a positive, and I think one of the reasons why he does it so much is because he actually needed to wake the crowd up. Like I don't think he would have done it as much if the crowd had already been like hot, but he managed to like kind of like wake it up by doing that. So like I'm fine with him just walking around constantly and just being like, yeah, hey, look at me. So because it works, and he knows it works because it works for his dad, who was also like who is one of the best people at like working a crowd regardless of where he is.
Right. And then that's that match. Just go out and check it out if you haven't watched anything else from this show.
Did you
It's
see how
definitely
they
worth it.
referred to Wagner on the YouTube videos?
No.
They called him Wagner 3G, which
That's funny.
that's also like I would don't like 2 generations down the line we'll get to Wagner 5G, and we're gonna get all kinds of weird conspiracy theories how he puts like microchips into people's brains or whatever.
Yeah. And so from that high, we go to something else. For the GHC Junior Heavyweight Championship, rise and fall. There was definitely a fall here. Hayata defeated Amaska in 13:04 with the headache. Amaska failed on his fourth defense, and Hayata is once again champion. Which,
I mean,
Paul, did you not call this?
I will thank Hayata for having a very appropriately named finisher, because headache is what I get whenever I have to watch his matches.
Well, I'll say this. They kept this one short.
Yes,
By
the
Hayata
shortest
standards.
Hayata match ever.
So in that regard, it was like a middling match, like 3.25 stars.
Yeah.
But there was really no reason to take this title off of Amaska.
No, and no one wanted this. Like I don't know.
No one.
Like I don't think,
And
I don't think even like obviously like hardcore Hayata stands are gonna be like excited, but like everyone else was like this Amaxa reign had been going great. Like there was a lot of juice here, and I don't know.
yeah. But Paul Hayata himself nominated his next challenger to be Ninja Mac.
Yes, he can get his win back.
Oh, I was going to say, do you think it's to get his win back, or do you think they're just going to go and...
He was supposed to beat him originally.
that seems to be the case. But, like... so stupid. Like, when are they going to put the title on... Well, they did put the title on Ninja Mac. But when are they going to give Ninja Mac a real reign with the title?
I mean, they probably should.
I assume that's what they wanted to... Yeah. But now Hayata's got to get another reign with the title.
Yep.
You know? So
You can hold it for 6 months and then lose it at the New Year's show.
Oh God, that's probably what's gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not excited about yet another Hayata reign.
No.
It definitely feels like he's held the belt for more than 567 days.
Oh, that's it? Yeah, it definitely does.
Which actually means he's 1 day, he's 1 day ahead of Taiji Ishimori, and he's still behind Kenta.
Interesting.
And he's still behind Kotaro Suzuki, Harada, and Kanemaru. I don't think he's gonna catch Kanemaru. I don't think anyone will actually ever catch Kanemaru.
Well, not with the way they book it these days.
No. You know how many days he's held that belt? I know it was a lot. I
No.
didn't know it was that much.
2,000?
Not quite there. 1,876.
Damn, still, though. That's a long
Yeah.
time.
So
Okay.
yeah,
So,
no one's gonna catch that. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I think on the whole, a step back. Despite the fact I like the junior tag champs, I think between the reigniting of Ogawa versus Ada and then Hayata winning the title again, this is a step backwards in the junior division.
Yeah, definitely. It just feels like it's just basically like a reset to like aside from like the good looking guys, it just feels like the the whole division hasn't really developed in like the last year at all. Like it's just
No, it
back
definitely
to
has
zero
not.
now. But hey, at least Junta Miyawaki's coming back, so maybe that will lead to something.
Yeah, I mean, I could see
Why did he go back to Mexico for like a month?
Do you think that they were not impressed with him or something?
Yeah, but then why do you send him back for like how much could he in theory develop for a month in Mexico? That's not gonna make a difference.
I know. Do you think Hayata is going to drop it to him?
I think that would actually be the smartest thing. Like I get that like you wanna like put the title on like Ninja Mac or whatever, but I feel like actually it might make more sense as much as I dread it to like let Hayata build up a bit of a reign and then have him drop it to Junta Miyawaki.
That in many ways would probably be. I agree. And you sort of, I think, Harada's retired. You got to make the new junior ace, and Hayata's not it.
No, I think Junta is like, you see what you can do with him, because I think he has talent, and you see if you can run with him as the ace of your division there.
Yep. I think you got to give him that chance for sure. Mm-hmm. And so finally we make it to the main event. The Lunatic Gate. Open the Lunatic Gate. Jake Lee defeats Katsuhiko Nakajima in 22 minutes and 58 seconds with a front high kick to make his first successful defense of the GHC Heavyweight Championship. Paul, I thought that this was pretty good. Maybe around just over 4 stars. I thought the first half was kind of a little boring, but I really liked the second half. I thought there were some great near falls in this, and I thought Nakajima looked tremendous.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't go that high for the match, because for me it was hurt simply by the fact that I never really thought that Nakajima could win. Like I never really got that feeling of the match.
Right.
So yeah, it kind of hurt it for me a little bit, but it was a pretty good title defense otherwise.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment. And then after the match, Marufuji came out, and that got a huge pop when he confronted Jake. Now, what do you think of Jake's performance in this?
I don't know. Like, as you said, like, Nakajima looked really, really good here. So, like, I really feel like I don't know how I really would to, like, assess, like, because so much of it relied on, like, Nakajima's charisma, and Jake was just kind of there, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like, he just felt more like an obstacle for, like, Nakajima to work around, which sounds really harsh. Like, it sounds harsher than I really want to make it sound, because it wasn't like Jake looked bad here, but I also don't think he really was like impressing me with like his presence as champion.
I think his presence as champion is. I don't want to oversell this, but I think it's improved.
He definitely,
but I'm not going to go out and say
good in the video package. Like I really liked the video package prior to the match. Like I think Jake actually came across really well there.
Okay, yeah.
So if he can
So-
transition that into like an actual ring, I think that would help him a lot.
But I mean, he hasn't been able to previously, so that's the thing.
Yes, it's always been a problem with Jake.
Um,
But yeah, well, we'll see. But with Marufuji challenging, so do
I
you think
so
Marufuji has a chance?
it's not impossible.
It depends, I think, how happy they are with the numbers here. Because I feel
Yeah.
like if they're not, like I think if Marufuji wins, that tells us that they're not happy with the numbers and they're kind of panicking and putting it on Marufuji before doing, yeah, some sort of.
Well, I would
close match.
assume that Marufuji the play is Marufuji versus Go then if Marufuji wins.
Yeah.
I mean that's the biggest match they have.
Yes, exactly. Because and it's also
left at this one.
It's also like Go. Like I think Go is winning either way. Like I think regardless of if he's facing Jake or Marufuji, he's winning.
Yes, I agree. You got to. Well, I mean, I'd be curious to see if like Go can still, pardon the pun, go, because he was pretty banged up, and this is like his second time out with injury, right?
Yeah.
In the last little while, so he might not be able to go.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things though is that because, like, one of the reasons why he is constantly so banged up is because he can't hold himself back.
Right.
Like, he's just then like, no, like, yeah, I know I just came back from, like, time off of, like, injuries or whatever, but, like, I'm just gonna, like, take, like, straight bumps straight to the floor, yeah, right onto concrete. It's fine.
Yeah.
So,
So-
we'll see. Like, until he's actually not able to do it anymore, I'm willing to, like, give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, until he's actually clear that, like, he's washed, I'm willing to give him slack until then.
Sure. Yeah, I am too. I think. Yeah, we'll see, but it's that will be very important. Like a healthy Go will be very helpful to Noah.
Yes.
But if he's not, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because then the problem is you've sped up the crisis. Oh, you can't get another year out of Go on top.
I
you're
don't
fucked.
think he has like another year-long title reign on him. Like, I don't think he can go.
No, but I think they're going to need him to hold that title till January 1st at
Yes.
least.
Yeah.
Or the N1 winner, maybe.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Either N1 winner or
January.
1st.
I mean, I'm not opposed to like Go Shiozaki versus Kaito Kiyomiya at the January 1st show. I'll
No,
watch
that's
that. I'll pay for a ticket.
yeah, definitely. I think that might be the best quality match that they could put on January 1st.
Yeah.
Because you still have the story of Kaito never beating Go in a GHC title match.
Exactly. Like that's so to me that would be like a very logical place to go to at this stage, unless they somehow
Yeah.
do make like a big splashy like free agent signing.
Yeah, which you can never rule out, actually.
Yeah.
So that was the Noah show, and then we have a card for Majestic at Sumo Hall on May 4th during Golden Week. That's Golden Week, right?
Sure. I can't remember when that is. But I think you're right. Yeah, I think it is the beginning of May. Yeah.
I'll talk about this in a minute, but Paul, you know who also has a show on this day?
All Japan.
Yep.
So that's interesting. Cross booking there.
Yeah. So anyway, we got Mohamed Yone and Super Crazy. He's back versus Akitoshi Saito, Taishi Ozawa. Atsushi Kotoge and Seki Yoshioka versus Extreme Tiger and Lancelot. No. Noah International versus GLG. Sean Legacy, Stallion Rogers, Dragon Bane and Alpha Wolf versus Jack Morris, Anthony Green, Yohei and Tadasuke. That's quite the interesting international
team. Did you see
team.
like the Japanese reaction to Stallion Rogers being back?
Yeah, they like him.
Yeah, he's really over somehow. I don't get it, but like there were like so many comments when they announced that he was going to be back. They were like, "Oh my God, Stallion Rogers is back!" Like it was like How did he get that over?
Yeah. So New Freedom Battle, which is Maya Yukihi and Saki from Colors versus Sumari Natsu and Ryo Mizunami. That actually could be good.
Yeah. No, that definitely. I think that definitely has the potential to be like a pretty solid match. So no, I am looking forward to that one definitely.
Noah Jr. versus Kongo Jr. Amaska, Junta Miyawaki and Alejandro versus Suji Kondo, Hajime Ohara, and Hiroki. Continue to challenge Masa Kitamiya and Daiki Inaba versus Kazuyuki Fujita and Masato Tanaka. That's an interesting match.
Yeah.
Is this we're going to heat up Fujita and Tanaka as a tag team, or yeah, that's what you think it is?
Who is taking the fall? Who's taking the fall on the Fujita Tanaka team here?
Tanaka would, I would assume.
Yeah, but more realistically, it's going to be Inaba.
Yeah,
Then we're
and
probably
then
going to
Tanaka
get like Fujita and Tanaka challenging.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. Martial arts rules: Masakatsu Funaki versus Shinya Aoki. This match actually got quite the pop when it was announced. This is interesting. I would assume Funaki wins this.
I mean, I guess so.
Because
Aoki
will put people over.
Yeah, I mean, but Funaki is also like, I'm not sure what his status is. Like, do we know if the finals of the UWF title tournament are before or after the show?
That's a good question. I do not know.
Because Aoki might be the late UWF champion by then. Although, I mean, like they have to put it on. Like, if you have Ito do all of this UWF nonsense, you have to put the belt on him. And not
it's incredibly stupid if Ito doesn't win that tournament.
Yeah,
incredibly stupid.
But it's also like Elite and like having your own guys lose to outsiders. Name a more iconic duo. I'll wait.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Deus Ex Machina, Yoshinari Ogawa and Chris Wedgwood versus Ida in
this match. I get that it's just random phrases that sound cool, but like this is especially egregious.
Yoshinari Ogawa and Chris Ridgway versus Ada and Daga.
Sure,
why not?
I mean, this has to end in like a hair versus hair match, right? Between Ada and Ogawa.
I would assume so.
Because at least then we'll get something.
Apuestas?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then is it Hugo de la Diosis, Dralistico versus Rey Escorpion?
Hugo de la Diosis? I don't speak Spanish, to be honest.
Yeah. But Rey Escorpion is good.
Yeah.
And as such, he's definitely one of the better luchadors they've brought in recently.
Yeah, I would say so as well. It's definitely, yeah. I like. This is another weird one as well. Or like, are we supposed to believe that that Ray is a junior? Like, because not.
Well, yeah. Whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, okay, maybe it's not as like. I think, okay, which one is worse where they declare someone to be like a junior, like a Mexican wrestler they declare to be a junior? Is it him or El Tejano? That was like a worse one, is like pretending they're junior.
El Tejano, absolutely.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, looking like Ray is at least like, he's 176 at least size, like height wise, he's believable, but he's 92 kilos. So.
No.
I also don't believe those 92 kilos either. Don't think that's true.
No.
That might be outdated, yeah. But yeah, no, El Tejano, yeah, that's probably still the more egregious one than this. But I mean, look, I'm at least looking forward to that. That has the potential to be decent. But again, as I was talking about before, it's like the luchadors being like off in their like own little corner doing their own thing and not really being a part of the promotion.
Yeah. Then next up we have GHC Tag Team Championship, keep exploding. Takashi Sugera and Shuhei Taniguchi versus Saxon Huxley and Timothy Thatcher.
Should have made this a
I mean, I
blast
don't think it's
current
a-
explosion match.
I think Sugera and Taniguchi probably win this, but I couldn't rule it out that Thatcher and Huxley win.
Yeah. I mean, because they also just like broke them away from Segura Gun as well, so it would actually make sense for them to win the belts as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can always pin Taniguchi.
Yep, you can always pin Taniguchi. But I have a feeling that Sugera and Taniguchi are going to be facing Fujita and Tanaka.
Yeah.
Because that just feels like the storyline.
Yeah. It's like all of the former, like, not all of the former, but like at least Fujita is like a former Segura Gun guy.
And Sugera and Tanaka have their own history, of course.
Yeah.
And then for the GHC Junior Heavyweight Championship, the highest peak,
That's the
Hayata versus Ninja Mac.
Yep. I fully believe
Yeah,
that
we
this
talked
is so
about-
Hayata can get his win back.
Okay, yeah, we already talked about this. GHC National Championship, Global Standard, Hio to Dr. Wagner Jr. versus Hideki Suzuki. I think this will be great.
Yeah. No, I'm. This is probably the match I'm actually looking forward to the most on this card. It's like that and the
Yeah, it might be.
return match. Like I think just Wagner has been absolutely on fire, and Suzuki has been really good in his Noah run. So yeah.
And then the Go Shiozaki return match, back to ring. Go Shiozaki, Kaito Kiyomiya, and Yoshiki Inamura versus Keno, Katsuhiko Nakajima, and Manabu Soya. That should be pretty good. I mean, it's your Noah 6-man formula. It'll probably get like some time too, because it's Go's return.
So who takes the fall here though? Because in theory you would want to give. I mean, then again, they do in Japan relatively often do like the thing where you lose in your return match, but if they want to build him up for a title match, they kind of have to have him win. But then Keno is a
Or there's
double
always
tag
just
champ.
Inamura.
Keno is a double tag champ. Well,
In-
Soya is a tag champ, but Nakajima is Nakajima.
Yeah, who knows? But it'll be good. I'm
Yes, no. Like these.
I don't.
Noah
To me,
six-man-
just Inamura being in this just screams Lost Post.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like that's why I'm looking like Inamura is just staring me straight in the face. And I mean, if we're talking about like them pushing young guys, maybe like Taiji Ozawa is even less of a good example. But it's like Yoshiki Inamura is like it's absurd. Like he has never beaten a non-young boy in a singles match ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's absurd.
And now one of the only people he can beat has disappeared.
Yeah, two of them.
Yeah.
He can just be Taiji. Like theoretically in singles matches now, he can only beat Taiji Ozawa because they haven't ever given him a winner or anyone else that isn't like a young boy. So
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
And then for the main event for the GHC Heavyweight Championship, Historical Crossroad, Jake Lee versus Naomichi Marufuji. Paul, I might be a bit of an outlier here, but I like the old man Marufuji big matches still. I think when he wants to, he can still turn it on, which is really only a couple times a year.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that this will be good. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe it's a bit of a hunch. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but
I feel like that's unfortunately what it might be. I'm trying to think if these two had a match and if they did, then I can't remember it. No, they
Was it
okay.
in
Yeah,
the-
no, they didn't. They didn't have a match during Marufuji's Champion Carnival run.
was Jake even in that Champion Carnival, or was that when he was injured?
Good question. I don't know actually. Yeah, I think maybe that was the one he had to sit out because he was injured. Yeah.
He blew out his knee, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. Like I don't know because I'm just kind of struggling if kind of where Marufuji is at, if that's really the right person to go in there with Jake, because Jake generally needs someone that is more like dynamic than him to really get like something good out of him. I don't know if Marufuji at this stage can be that guy.
Yeah. We'll see. I guess. Does he even want to put this guy over? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Like I think he'll put Jake over, but does he really want to put Jake over?
Yeah, and like I said, if Jake loses here, then we know that like they're freaking out about what the numbers that they're drawing.
Yeah. And does this show get to 3,000 people?
No, I don't think so. I mean, let's just take a look.
Whoa, that's bold.
Okay, let's take a look what they have they drawn recently in Sumo Hall. Okay, so I mean, they did get to 2,000 last time.
Yeah. And with pandemic restrictions lifted, I don't know, it'll be an interesting number.
Yeah. And then, yeah, the N Innovation one was 1.5.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. I mean, ideally you get to 3,000, but I don't know that, like, there doesn't really seem to be that kind of energy around that promotion right now. I would even say, like, this time last year, they had more energy around them when they had the Go Shiozaki vs. Kaito match than they do at the moment.
I agree. So we'll see about that. So that's Pro Wrestling Noah. A lot going on both in and outside of the ring. We move on to All Japan and the Champion Carnival, Paul. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts after 4 days of the Carnival?
I would say it's been solid. I don't think it's been blow away yet. I don't
definitely
know
not.
How I feel about some of these shorter matches, basically, because there's been a lot of short matches.
Well, the short matches are a double-edged sword.
Yeah, because I somewhat feel reminded of the 2020 Carnival. Like, I don't think it's that bad, but like I think some of these are definitely better that they're short. But I also feel like other matches I think have kind of suffered from being like too short.
These match lengths help the Saitos and Cyrus.
Yeah.
And maybe even Tako Omori.
Yeah.
Just because he doesn't have to go out there and work like 15 minutes every night in a singles match.
No, exactly.
But you can argue that they're hurting your Yumas and your Kentos and T-Hawk and
Kojima could still go that long Kojima can still go longer if he wants to.
Yeah. So, solid, but nothing blow away, but nothing like horrible either because they are wisely keeping certain matches short. Yeah.
I mean, I can't say Right Side to Mr. Kawamori was a bad match, but simply because it's a minute 30.
Exactly. So, what do you think of the Junior Tag Battle of Glory so far?
That one I have liked. Like, but again, that's also
it's
where
pretty darn good.
Longer matches would really help here.
Yes. Well, there was one match that got like 11 minutes that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's also the best one I think of the tournament, but we'll get to that.
Yes, definitely. So we start off on going back to April 8th at Korakuen Hall in front of 634 fans because this show ran at the same time as New Japan Sakura Genesis.
Yeah, maybe don't run a show where like a former trainee of yours is about to win the top belt of the top promotion in the country. Seems like a bad idea because that might cannibalize your own audience.
Here's the thing. I don't think that they have much like... I mean, aren't Korakuen dates like picked a year in advance and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's probably not the easiest. Like, and again, their last Korakuen show before the Oda Award Finals is going up against Noah's Sumo Hall show.
Yeah.
Which...
also not ideal.
Not ideal. So, well, maybe... I mean, the only Noah show that ever hurt them was the Muda Final Bye-Bye.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not sure if a Noah Sumo Hall will hurt them as much as Sakura Genesis.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, we definitely know Noah is in the absolute shits if somehow All Japan outdraws them. That's.
Well,
I don't think that will happen. I think, but then we're in like absolute complete panic territory.
Yeah. So we start off the show with Junior Tag Battle of Glory Special 3-way match. This was not a tournament match. It was Hikaru Sato and Dan Tamura defeated Atsuki Oyagi, Rising Hayato, and Naruki Doi and Naoki Tanizaki in 6 minutes and 40 seconds when Tamura pinned Doi with the powerbomb.
Mm-hmm.
And this will set up a Tamura challenging Doi for the junior title at the Oda Award Finals on the 7th.
The Dan push is real.
Paul, the Dan push is real. Paul, want to bring this up. Could you make a case that in 2023 so far, Hio, Dr. Wagner Jr. and Dan Tamura are two candidates for most improved wrestler?
I think you absolutely can, because I think Dan has just, he really is showing, a completely, different attitude now. And, yeah, I mean, we've been raving about Wagner nonstop. So, no, I think very easily you could say those two, to me, are, the favorites right now for, most improved.
Mm-hmm. And then in the junior tag battle of glory, Kaito Ishida and Kotaro Suzuki defeated Ryo Inoue and Oji Shiba in 6 minutes and 32 seconds with a face kick from Ishida on Inoue. This match happened 11 days ago, but let me see here. Yeah, I mean, it was good, just really short.
Yeah, no, it was fine. That's also the best I can say about it.
Yeah. Champion Carnival Block B. Rei Saito defeated Takao Omori in 1 minute and 31 seconds with a drill hole pile driver.
Certainly is a choice to open up your Champion Carnival.
Yeah. Block A. Cyrus defeated Jun Saito in 2 minutes and 58 seconds with a reverse splash. Again, not bad.
No.
Timeline. Champion Carnival Block B. Hokuto Omori defeated Shuji Ishikawa in 8 minutes and 56 seconds with a narcissist lock. I've seen opinions all over the place on this match. I liked it. The finish was abrupt, but I thought Hokuto acquitted himself well doing the sort of smaller guy versus bigger guy thing.
Yeah. It actually somewhat reminded me of what Shuji Ishikawa and Yuma Aoyagi matches used to be years ago. When basically Ishikawa would just dominate Yuma. And then I think that is actually how Yuma got his first win ever over Ishikawa as well. Where basically Ishikawa just dominated the match and then Yuma kind of came back out of nowhere and won the match. So yeah, I think that's fine.
And the Hokuto push is real too.
Yes, that one as well.
Now that he can drink again.
It gave him his power.
Yeah. Yoshitatsu defeated T-Hawk in 6 minutes and 58 seconds with by referee stop with the Yoshitatsu fantasy. Well, you had to get those T-Hawk losses out of the way.
Yes, because
right?
Let's just say the G-Rex belt is still present on these shows, but it is no longer on the same person.
Yep. And then in the B block, Manabu Soya defeated Shitara Ashino in 6 minutes and 48 seconds with the Dando Lariat. Now, this is where I had the problem because these guys actually, I thought, were pretty good, and then it was just bam, match over.
Yeah. This was also the one for me where I was this could have been a great match, but they just simply didn't have the time.
Yeah. Alhio de Shuji Kondo defeated Satoshi Kojima in 9 minutes and 11 seconds with the final vent. What do you think of Ryuki Honda's new look, Paul?
It's weird. Like you said, he looks I don't know, to me he looks like a cross between Shuji Kondo and Suwama. Which is interesting. And he definitely looks like he belongs in Mad Max.
Yeah,
I don't, but I mean, I believe it was just the last show where I was talking about. I don't think we're that far away from a Ryuki Honda push, and seems like we're already there.
Well, yeah. I mean, he pins Kojima. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
And it wasn't clean, but I mean, he's a heel again. If there's any sort of, I guess he was sort of a tweener in GOA. I guess he's still in GOA, but he's way more of a heel now.
Yes, no, he's very obviously a heel at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would become even more clear in like other matches as well. Because yeah, this one wasn't clean, but
Yeah.
I feel like other matches he had in this tournament were even less clean than that.
Yeah. And in the Champion Carnival Block B, Suwama beat Yuma Anzai in 14 minutes and 51 seconds. The backdrop hold. I think I know what they were going for here, because as much as we'll talk about Anzai's progress, I think Suwama is going to be a roadblock for him for the next little while. And so they sort of wanted to establish that. But if that was the point, then why didn't they this could have just been 10 or 11 minutes instead of like almost 15.
Yeah. Yeah. And he gives some more time to like other matches as well. But yeah. But I still thought it was fine. And as I said, this is really kind of just Suwama needs to get his win back over Anzai. I think that's okay. And then you give Anzai like something to work towards.
Yeah. And then in the main event, the 10th match of the show. And I forgot to mention that Noah Sumo Hall show has 14 matches on it.
Yeah.
Which hopefully means that the junior tag title matches won't be 25 minutes. Main event. Yuma Aoyagi defeats Kento Miyahara in 18 minutes and 22 seconds with The Fool. This is the first time that Yuma has pinned Kento in a singles match. I mean, this was not as good as their recent singles matches.
No.
I mean, it was still pretty good. Still, I think the best match of the show. But do you think that was sort of deflating that this was Yuma's first win?
I was actually prepping up the question where I wanted to ask you if this was the right choice to actually give Yuma the win here. Like if this feels actually like the wrong time to do it, because it's like in front of like 630 fans in Korakuen Hall. Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like it feels like a little bit of a waste to do it here.
I'm of two minds of this, because it's like, it's sort of like, I don't know, what does it tell you, that the next time that they have a Triple Crown match that Yuma's winning, or that Kento's going to win another Triple Crown match before Yuma finally
beats him,
gets it? I don't know.
Yeah, because that's what it feels like to me, where like, because he got his win here, that Kento is the one winning the Carnival and getting the match with Nagata instead of Yuma.
Well, I don't know if Kento's winning that Carnival. Because is Great going to let Kento beat their champion?
Yeah.
Because it's T-Hawk versus Kento on that last night. So I don't know what the politics are. But also, well, I'll get to this later. But I'm a little unsure about who's going to win this A block actually now.
Okay.
So we'll see. But Paul, I saw a lot of negative reaction to the show. I can't say it was a great show, but I don't think it was nearly as bad as some people said. And I don't think night 2, spoiler alert, was dramatically better. That some people claimed also.
No, I don't think it was great either. But I feel like sometimes the Carnival kind of falls victim to its own expectations, basically. Like I think we kind of have a tendency to basically be like too hyped for the Carnival, and because I feel like generally people also like save their powder for like the last couple of shows and actually like early on. Like it's a very backloaded tournament, I want to say. Like I feel like that's like it isn't really like night in, night out when you get the excellent matches. It generally tends to be more towards the back end when people will like actually go all in.
Mm-hmm. And then so we go to April 10th at Hodogaya Public Hall in Yokohama. In Block B, Hokuto Omori defeated Takao Omori in 4 minutes and 57 seconds with a referee stop from the Narcissist Locked. There wasn't much to this except for Omori or Hokuto beating Omori, which is a major, a milestone for him.
Yeah. Does it mean now he wins the name of Omori?
Yes. Next up, we had in the A block, Ryuki Honda defeated Yoshitatsu in 2 minutes and 2 seconds with the Yoshitatsu fantasy cutback, which is hilarious. And honestly, I thought that they booked that perfectly.
Yes. This the short match where I'm like, no, that this one had the perfect length where like Honda just goes in there and then he just rolls him up immediately, more or less.
A three-way tag match. Black Mensa Ray and Cyrus defeated Atsuki Yagi and Rising Hayato and Shotaro Asino and Masao Hanabata when Mensa Ray pinned Hanabata after Cyrus threw him on him. This was actually kind of fun just for Cyrus in there with the juniors.
Yeah, that was fine.
Junior Tag Battle of Glory. Naruki Doi and Naoki Tanizaki defeated Ryo Inoue and Oji Shiba in 5 minutes and 24 seconds with an implant bomb from Tanizaki on Shiba. Again, a solid 5-minute action match, but there's not much more to say. Like, I mean, I would say that the ceiling has been, or the floor has been higher on these Junior Tag Battle of Glory matches, but still, they're like 5 or 6 minute, high energy sprints.
Yeah. This was all action as well. Like I really liked this one, but yeah, it was 5 minutes.
And then Junior Tag Battle of Glory. Hikaru Sato and Dan Tamura defeated Kaito Ishida and Kotaro Suzuki in 11 minutes and 9 seconds when Tamura pinned Suzuki with the power bomb. I thought this is the best match of the tournament so far. Yes. It was great.
I would actually say it's the best match of the tour so far.
Ooh. Yeah, I think you can make that case, actually. And the Dan push is real.
Yes. No, this one, again, another great Dan performance as well, where he's just really, because not that long ago, he was, the guy taking the heat always, but now he's, in there as, the dominant guy, basically, where he is, just, yeah, I really feel like he's really found his own with this kind of power junior style that he's doing now.
Yeah. And then in the Champion Carnival Block B, Manabusoya defeated Yuma Anzai in 8 minutes and 41 seconds. Now, this was a squash. Well, maybe not, but it was one of the more dominant performances over Anzai this tour, apart from the Suwama thing.
Yeah, it really is interesting that it always seems to be different when Anzai is facing people not from All Japan, minus maybe the match on Great and his first match with Nagata. But the ones that have been closest to traditional young boy matches of Anzai were this match, the match he had with Shingo, and the match he had with Minoru Suzuki.
Yep, definitely. So, and then Block B, Rei Saito defeated Shuji Ishikawa in 7 minutes and 31 seconds with the drill a hole pile driver. Paul, is the Rei Saito push real?
I mean, it definitely seems definitely establishing him as being the better of the two.
Yeah. Well, Paul, I think he is the better of the two.
I mean, it's not just yes, he is better.
I think he's a better worker, and I think he's got more. He's got the charisma thing down better than June.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of work, I think they're close, but I think in terms of charisma, they're not even close at all. Ray is just so much more charismatic than June is.
And yeah, I mean, and also this match was shockingly good for what it was.
Yes, that too. Yeah.
The two big men running into each other, and it worked. 7.5 minutes in and out.
Not enough time to get tired either.
And then in Block A, Kento Miyahara defeated Jun Saito in 9 minutes and 10 seconds with an inside cradle. Again, I mean, Kento, I think, was a miracle worker here. This was pretty good too.
Yeah, no, I mean, as I said, Kento really carried this match. He really got
Kento carried this match more than Shuji carried it. His.
Yes, that's for sure. But Kento also much better work at this point than Shuji is, so.
That's true too. In the Champion Carnival Block A, Yuma Aoyagi defeated T-Hawk in 14 minutes and 2 seconds with The Fool. And I think this is the best match of the Champion Carnival so far. Just solid back and forth action, all action against. Well, dare I say, T-Hawk is also finding a lot more charisma these days too.
Yeah, I mean, especially after something that will happen a little later as well. But yeah, I thought this was a good match. I don't think I would go 4 stars on it. Like I think for me it was still below that, but it was the best champion Carnival match. Like, but I just preferred the Doi and Tanizaki versus Inoue and Shiba. Not that one. The Tamura and Sato versus Ishida and Suzuki junior tag battle match to this one, just slightly.
Yeah. I actually think I preferred T-Hawk versus Yuma, but it was close. So then we go to April 15th, Nagoya International Conference Hall in front of 935 fans. Onita is a draw. Junior Tag Battle of Glory. Ryo Inoue and Oji Shiba defeated Hikaru Sato and Dan Tamura when Shiba used a Ungai Soten on Sato for a huge win. Shiba's finally getting a push.
Yeah.
Pinning a former junior.
Huge for that as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, did you notice he was quite over?
Yeah.
So
isn't he from like that area? I don't know.
I'm not sure. But
He's from Kumamoto. Okay.
I think All Japan needs to maybe get their claws into this guy.
Yeah,
I mean, he hasn't
the
been
one thing,
injured.
like, that I am a little afraid of is like the reason he originally left Dragon Gate was like injury issues, but he seems to have been holding up really well. Like, and if he is actually like reliable, then yeah, you absolutely like need to bring this guy in, like on a more permanent basis.
Yes, definitely.
Especially because otherwise Great might sign him because he is a member of 60 Seconds.
Oh, that's right. Yes. But I think that there's a place for him in the All Japan Junior division.
Yeah, definitely. And he's only 26 as well. So.
Yeah, for sure. And then next up, we had in the Junior Tag Battle of Glory, Atsuki Aoyagi and Rising Hayato defeating Naruki Doi and Naoki Tanizaki in 7 minutes and 8 seconds when Aoyagi pinned Tanizaki. So, this was too short, but I thought it was really good for what it was.
Yeah, same. Like this was another one that kind of fell victim to matches just being really, really short. Where I think this actually could have been like a 4-star match if they actually had gotten more time. But
yeah,
it was
definitely
good for what it was.
I'm just going to bring this up now because I forgot to mention when we were talking about All Together Again. But what I would like to see in All Together Again, even though they don't generally book a lot of foreigners on these shows, is putting Atsuki and Hayato in the ring with Francesco Akira, because all three of them have made huge strides since Akira left All Japan. And I think it would be awesome to see them together.
Yeah. To like get the band back together in a way.
Yeah. But I somehow think that might not happen. Then we had this strange 4-way match, which is something like only like the second or third 4-way match in All Japan history. Hokuto Omori defeated Shuji Ishikawa, Jun Saito, and Rei Saito in 4 minutes and 5 seconds when Omori used the narcissist role on Rei. I don't know what this was other than just to get everyone on the card.
Yeah, especially because it was 4 minutes. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't get this one either.
And then All Asia Tag Team Championship, Tornado Bunkhouse Megaton Current Blast Death Match. Tsushi Onita and Yoshitatsu defeated Takao Omori and Black Mensa Ray in 10 minutes and 38 seconds when Onita pinned Mensa Ray after hitting him with the Current Blast bat. All I'll say is that this is not necessarily as bad as you might think, but that doesn't mean it was good either.
No.
Just that it wasn't
like that's what I would always say about these like bad matches is that they're never bad, but they're never good. Like they're entertaining because the bat exploding is entertaining. Like,
man, that bat was so loud.
He's so loud in this hall because I think the ceiling in the Nagoya like conference hall is really high. So like it's just echoing throughout this entire like.
And you could hear the crowd after that first blast. They were just like making all this weird noise, like what the fuck just happened?
Because I think they also didn't expect it to be this loud.
Yeah. But looks like we're with more Omori, more Onita and Yoshitatsu for the foreseeable future. What makes me question is, generally in the Junior Tag Battle of Glory, you get an All Asia Tag title shot. Is that going to happen again? And I would hope that the winners beat Onita and Yoshitatsu.
Yeah.
But is that... I don't know.
We're gonna get Aoyagi and Rising Hayato versus Sushi, Onita, and Yoshitatsu? That's gonna be weird. That's gonna
And
be
then
really weird.
I would assume that in that case, I mean, I would be monumentally stupid to beat the Aoyagi and Hayato. But I would assume in that case, then Aoyagi pins Yoshitatsu. Maybe rolls him up. Yeah.
I mean, you have to get these belts off of like these guys somehow at some point. So
Yeah. And then in Block A in the Champion Carnival, Cyrus defeated Yuma Aoyagi in 7 minutes and 3 seconds with a reverse splash. I thought this was solid. Cyrus has improved. You know, I'm not going to say he's a super worker or anything, but also, you know, Yuma just there selling for him and everything helped made the match.
and I think Cyrus is also like a guy that is like believable in beating anyone because he's so big.
Mm-hmm. So I would say, yeah, Cyrus has been, I think, pretty good. He hasn't dragged anything down, but he hasn't been put in long matches, which is also the right idea.
Yeah. No, that's what you need to do here. Yuma's good at selling as well, so like that really helps too.
Was this the match where he hit that Claymore, which I thought looked really good?
I don't remember.
I don't know. I think it might have been. Anyway, Cyrus should keep using that Claymore. It looks really good.
Yeah.
He's not like Drew McIntyre, but he gets a decent amount of height for a man his size.
Definitely does, yeah.
And then Champion Carnival Block A. Kento Miyahara defeated Ryuki Honda in 8 minutes and 42 seconds. They had Honda attack Miyahara after the Jun Saito Miyahara match of the show before, which I forgot to mention to set this up.
Yeah, after Jun Saito also attacked him.
Yes.
Like, Kento basically got beaten down by Jun Saito. It's just barely getting back up, and then you see Ryuki Honda sprinting into the match to, like, hit him with the final event.
Yeah. Again, I thought this was really good. It was heated, but it sort of fell victim. Even another 2 or 3 minutes could have held this match a lot, but it was still pretty good.
I mean, and if we're talking about like Honda and heel antics, this was just completely filled with just
like a low blow.
Fucking Ryuki Flair over here, just constantly low blowing Kento.
Yeah. And then Champion Carnival A block. T-Hawk defeated Tetsushi Kojima in 7 minutes and 2 seconds. He's doing the roll-up things again. Remember last year's Champion Carnival?
Yep. When he won all of his matches with a roll-up. Yeah.
Mildly surprising, I guess, result.
Well, but that's also because T-Hawk had a new shiny belt with him.
Well, yeah. He's now the GRX champion at this point.
Did you?
I mean, I thought it was.
By the way?
I have not.
It's well worth a watch. Like, I thought it was.
I've heard, yeah.
I thought it was like I think I had like 4.25 on it.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, it was good, but we're getting into like the length of the match being hurt by, the match being hurt by the length.
Yeah.
Because T-Hawk and Kojima could have a nice 15-minute banger.
Yeah. And so I was also like disappointed when I was like, oh yeah, okay, let's get going, and then T-Hawk just rolls him up and wins, and I'm like, oh, well, okay, I guess.
Yeah. And next up, Block B. Yuma Anzai defeated Shitaro Ashino in 10 minutes and 29 seconds with a German suplex hold. This is, I think, Anzai's biggest singles victory to date.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty surprising result, I'm not going to lie.
I don't know. I think at this stage he should beat a junior.
Oh, Paul. Yeah.
But to be honest, I kind of expected this result. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, really?
Like, I
okay.
actually wasn't that surprised that he beat Ashino here. Because he had already lost 2 matches, and we knew he wasn't gonna go winless. He had to win somewhere. And we were just talking about where, like, with the arrival of Anzai, it really feels like now kind of Ishino's time has passed in a way. So for me,
Yeah.
it only made sense that Anzai would be like that. Ishino would be like Anzai's first Carnival win here,
Yeah.
just to kind of
Uh,
like really establish that like Anzai is the guy now and Ishino's yesterday's news basically.
match was
Which is unfortunate. I love
yeah,
Ishino, but like that's
yeah,
just
me
very
too.
clearly where this seems to be going.
I was once a huge Ishino booster, especially when he showed up in All Japan. But it's like I'm not even upset about it anymore, just because there's so much more talent.
Yeah.
Right.
And
It's crazy to
feel
think
like he's leaving at the end of the year. Like
it wouldn't shock
I
me.
would be
No.
shocked if he stays, quite honestly.
Can you believe it's almost been 3 years of Ishino in All Japan?
Yeah. Like almost to the date, right?
Yeah, June, I think, 03. Or 2020, June 2020. Yeah. It's been an interesting 3 years.
It's been something, yeah. You got
Like
that push
they never
right out of the gate, and then yeah.
and they never did a big Kento versus Ishino match either.
They had a match in the Carnival though, right?
Yeah, and Ishino won.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah,
never
Kenta
did
never
like
got
a
his win back.
they never did a Triple Crown match, which I was kind of surprised by.
Did he really only get that one Triple Crown shot against
He got
Suwama,
two.
and that's it?
He got two against
Two, okay.
Suwama.
Oh, two against Suwama, yeah. That's it, yeah.
And one
Never
against
went
Jake
back
Lee,
to
did
him.
he not?
Did he get a match with Jake? Maybe. Oh yeah, did he get the one just before Jake? No. Did he get? Trying to remember. Let me take a look.
I thought he did. Am I dreaming that one up?
Let me see if I can figure that one out real quick. Okay, here's Ashino.
Was he not?
No, he did get 3 title matches. He got the 2 against Suwama, and then he got one in July of 2021 against Jake.
Yeah, I think that was
I think
Jake's
that was
first
Jake's
defense.
I think that was Jake's first defense, yeah.
Yeah. So sort of fascinating to think about that. Very different very, very, very different world.
Yeah. But then basically since then he's just been very much like on a downward spiral.
Yeah. Yep.
Like even like because I just looked for Triple Crown, and he like the only other time he was even remotely involved with the Triple Crown was when he lost to Honda in the tournament.
Right.
After Jake got injured.
What did you think of the match though? This match?
Yeah, I liked the match. I thought
Yeah,
the match
so did
was
I.
pretty solid. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Enzo is building up like a nice arsenal. Like I think because he really kind of got dominated by Ashino in this match, and then when
Mhm.
he like comes back and hits that knee, like I think the crowd has already been like conditioned to like see that as like, oh yeah, like they're popping huge for it, because they're not just
Yeah.
popping for it like they would for like a normal like young boy comeback. They're popping for it for like, oh, this is like an actual comeback where he will like actually win the match now.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And then the main event, Block B, Suwama defeated Manabu Soya in 15 minutes and 13 seconds with a backdrop. This was not good, Paul. This was Suwama doing his thing. Lots of crowd brawling, them fighting with things like an umbrella. Suwama used an umbrella at one point on Soya, and just some plotting stuff in between. I did not enjoy it.
No, the worst thing is it wasn't even the most egregious Suwama match of the tournament. That will come.
Oh, we'll get to that.
But yeah, this also wasn't very good, and this will probably lead to like a tag title match, I suppose. But yeah, also wasn't really excited about this.
Yeah. And then we go to, so that's that show. Then we go the next day on the 16th in Axe City, Hamamatsu. Yuma Anzai defeated Takao Mori in 7 minutes and 46 seconds with a German suplex hold. Expected. He has defeated a former Triple Crown champion. Solid enough match. Nothing really to it, but it was fine. Next
Also
up,
feels like
Shitaru.
Omori will just go like completely 0 points in this tournament.
Yeah.
Takao Omori will.
Yeah. Champion Carnival, Shitaru Ashino finally gets on the board by defeating Hokuto Omori in 7 minutes and 12 seconds with a T-bone suplex. Paul, was there something just missing in this match? Like, it was technically good, but like I don't know what it was.
Yeah, there was just like kind of no excitement around it in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And these two have, in theory, have history with each other, but
Yeah. But it just, felt like something was missing. Next up, A block. T-Hawk defeated Jun Saito in 6 minutes and 42 seconds with a roll-up type move, of course. I watched this match yesterday, and I can't even remember what happened in it, other than the finish.
to be honest, I had also literally forgotten this match until I just saw it on the run sheet.
Yeah. I don't recall it being bad or anything. It was perfectly serviceable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, T-Hawk... Oh, yeah, no, I remember. T-Hawk was doing a lot of like drop kicks to the legs and stuff. Trying to, sell it as the as like the little guy. But I don't think but what I had noted that June really didn't do anything here of note. It was all carried by T-Hawk. However, we go to Rei Saito defeating Manabu Soya in 9 minutes and 47 seconds in the B block with the drill hole pile driver. I thought this was a nice little match.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one. I thought this was a better match for Sawyer than Tsubama was, which is interesting.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, because, 9 minutes a little longer for a Ray, 9 minutes 47 seconds, a little longer by Ray's standards in this tournament, but, he had his best when he's against another bruiser.
Yeah, which Sawyer is really good at, so...
Yeah, so it worked.
Yeah.
Look, I'll say this. I think the Saitos, especially Ray, have over-delivered, given to what my expectations were of them in this tournament.
Yes, so far they definitely have.
Yeah. Now, that's because they've been carried in some cases, especially June, because he had that match against Kento, right?
Yeah.
But still, you can't say that they are like dragging this tournament down.
No. Yeah, you also need to be able to be carried. Like, it can't be a complete stuff.
No. And next up, we had Kento Miyahara, Yuma Aoyagi, Atsuki Aoyagi, and Ryo Inoue defeating Hikaru Sato, Dan Tamura, Black Mansoray, and Hideki Shrek Shikine. One of those guys is not like the other. In 13 minutes and 51 seconds when...
Yeah, Black Mansoray, because it's the only one that doesn't regularly work hard hit.
Yeah. When Yuma used the Fool to pin Mansoray. It was a perfectly fine 8-man tag. Just sort of get Kento on the card and get the stuff, whatever. I do like watching Kento sell for Shrek, though. That's funny.
Yes. Like, especially when they did it in the post-match as well.
Yeah.
Where Shrek was, like, threatening to come back to the ring, and then Kento had to, like, bow to the crowd or something.
Yeah. And then he shook some, like, kid's hand. Or no, he wiped himself with a towel, which you can do now that restrictions are getting lifted. Next up, in A block, Ryuki Honda defeated Cyrus in 4 minutes and 43 seconds with a lariat. Again, short and to the point, but it was fun, right? These are two guys that can have like a nice short match and it like not feel like you've been cheated or by anything.
Yeah, and it's also like Cyrus also seemed like sold like the loss really well, where he was like basically he just got caught with the lariat and pinned out of nowhere, and then in the post match he was like, "What? No, I got caught. Ah, damn it."
Yeah. Then next up in A block again, Satoshi Kojima defeated Yoshitatsu in 9 minutes and 20 seconds with the lariat. This is like the most mid match that ever mid.
Yeah.
Like it was perfectly fine, paint by numbers match, and Kojima finally gets a win.
It was also like the one that I remember from this is like that they did the standoff at the beginning of the match, and I'm just like, come on, guys. Like it's Satoshi Kojima versus Yoshitatsu. Like nothing against Kojima, but like more like it's Yoshitatsu. Like
yeah, exactly right. And then block B, Shuji Ishikawa defeated Suwama in 17 minutes and 51 seconds with the giant slam.
Sorry, I thought that was. Are you sure it wasn't 17 hours?
Yeah, I know. This was way more egregious than that Soya match, which is surprising because, Paul, do you remember the banger these guys had in 2021 Champion Carnival?
Yeah.
With accidental blood and everything?
Yeah. No.
And that match was
And-
actually like I think like 19 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And then for some reason they decided in this one to like turn Shuji Ishikawa into a giant version of last year's Dan Tamura.
Yeah, it was just Suwama working him over, doing the voodoo murder shit. It was not good. Quite possibly the worst match that they've ever had against each other.
And it's also the crowd didn't give a shit at all.
No.
Like, it wasn't even that this was a bad crowd. Like, the crowd was hot for like other stuff on the show. And they were just silent for this like whole like crowd brawling and then just Suwama hanging like Shuji Ishikawa over the ring, and like they didn't care at all about any of it.
Nope. And yeah, that was probably the worst match of the tournament.
Yeah, I think that's very safe.
Just
unless that's
especially
like
because
alongside a match that goes badly somehow. But like again, like I don't even see how this could be worse than this.
Yeah, so that is the Champion Carnival so far. Next week on the 25th will be the big Kojima versus Kento match at Korakuen Hall. So you can have that to look forward to. And so our standings are A block, Ryuki Honda 6, Yuma Aoyagi 4, Cyrus 4, Kento Miyahara 4, T-Hawk 4, Satoshi Kojima 2, Yoshitatsu 2, Jun Saito 0. Block B, Rei Saito on top with 6. Hokuto Omori with 4. Manu Busoya with 4. Suwama with 4. Yuma Anzai with 4. Shuji Ishikawa with 2. Shotaro Ashino with 2. And Takao Omori with 0.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, do you have any thoughts about who's going to win this different from what you thought about earlier?
I still feel like Block A is coming down to Kento or Yuma.
Yeah.
Like I just don't see who else is coming out of this block. And then
So
B block.
So is Kojima toast? Like, you don't even think he's going to be a threat?
I think he's gonna get a few more wins, but like now, but I don't know if he actually will get into contention.
I'm sort of
block,
surprised. Like, see, this is the thing where I'm like, is Kojima going to come out of nowhere and like win this block? Because it just seems a strange way to start him off. You would want to start him off strong.
True. But maybe the story is just that Kojima doesn't have it anymore.
I would be fine with that. He's just a body.
Yeah.
Because
to me, then if Kojima wins Block A, like then whoever comes out of Block B needs to win the tournament, and I just don't see a tournament winner in Block B.
Yeah. Suwama.
Yeah, like because I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that it's Suwama because that would just be the most boring possible option if this just Nagata versus Suwama.
Okay, what about Nagata versus Suwama? Nagata retains. And then there's a Oda Ward gym show in June, and that's where Nagata drops it?
Is that before or after altogether?
Oh.
I don't know if you want to walk into altogether with an outsider as the Triple Crown champion. Especially an outsider that will be on the show.
Let me just pull up the schedule here. And let's see where... Okay, so June 2023... Yeah, it's before. The June Oda Ward is on the 17th.
Okay, so you could do that there then. Because I also don't think it's a great idea if you walk into that show with Suwama as the champion.
No. And Suwama really should not be Triple Crown champion again.
No.
It's a waste of a champion carnival.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, on the other hand, though, obviously, like I said, I'm still not giving up on the crazy scenario that Anzai makes the final. And if you put Kojima, I mean, that would be because you could do that where he wins the Carnival right away. He beats Kojima and then he loses to Nagata.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? So it's hard to say. I hope they don't do something stupid though.
No, yeah, Sumama would be the stupid option here. But like again,
Absolutely.
like from B block, there's just like no one else in there. Like I like Hokuto Mori, but that's not the level that he's at. Like at, I think Ishikawa, Ashino, and Takao Mori are all already toast. Like
Mhm.
Ray, like I like Ray Saito, but no, that's just a
No.
hard no.
Yeah. And
So that really
for the
is like, and Soya is an outsider. So
yeah. And for the junior tag battle of glory, everybody has 2 points.
yeah, makes
So,
it easy.
yeah. And just quickly, I'm going to finish off with some Evolution talk. They have a show on May 5th at Shinkiba, their second show. The card was announced. It will be Chi-Chi versus Maya Yukihi, Sunny versus Mei Saruga, and Zones versus Hiroyu Matsumoto, which I have to say, that's all really good matchmaking, I think.
Hmm.
I think everyone compliments themselves very well in that one.
Yeah, I mean, we'll
Paul, did you
see
watch
where
any
this is
clip?
going.
Did
Not
you watch any of the
yet.
clips?
I haven't
Okay.
had the time. Like I said, I'm working.
So I watched the clips. I don't know if this show is airing, but Samurai
Mhm.
TV has footage because they aired it on whatever that show is, like the show they air where like all around wrestling and everything like that.
The Occupation of the Indies.
Yeah, that's the show. Indies with a Z, right?
Yes, of course.
I mean, I thought everyone looked solid. I mean, it's hard to tell just from clips, but I mean, like they're Joshi rookies, so they do a lot more moves. They have larger move sets than the male rookies do.
Yeah.
And they all have their own looks and everything like that. So, I mean, Suwama does not exactly have a bad track record when it comes to being a trainer. The All Japan Dojo is pretty good, so I'm not surprised that all of these women clearly show potential.
Did you see
It's just
Zones getting cupped?
I did. She's already like an athlete and a bodybuilder. I'm not surprised that she has back issues.
Yeah, but that's
And
like
everything like
even like that seemed like actually like because the whole cupping thing doesn't actually work. But
Oh yeah.
that actually like the way that her back looked, I feel like that actually did damage.
Nagata's
That
had some
looked
pretty
very excessive.
intense cupping too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And stuff
It's always
like
weird
that.
when they do that before matches and then they just come out for a match and their back just looks absolutely disgusting.
Right. So I think things went well. These matches existed full because they had a fan event where they watched the matches with the fans who were attended. So I don't know what's going to happen
That's a
to
cool
this.
idea.
And yeah, it is. Anyway, but the problem here is, despite the promise I think all three of these women have, the problem is the sort of we're going to run into with Greats women's division, which may have lost Michiko Miyagi. Even is who's going to put these women over?
Yeah.
Right, because you basically fed Miyagi to like every like notable woman in the indies, from like Chihiro Hashimoto to everyone. So who are they going to be able to pin?
Yeah. No, that isn't, and it's only 3 of them as well. Like it's not like you can.
There's
like,
a fourth
have them against each
trainee.
other.
There's a fourth trainee whose name has not been disclosed. But yeah, so that's sort of the issue with all of this. But I mean, maybe they should work with Noah.
I mean, I guess, but like Noah doesn't have. I don't even know if Noah really has a women's division either. I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll see. But I will say, and I was skeptical at first, but I'm cautiously optimistic. So
No, they do. Yeah, like I've heard good things. Like I haven't really watched it, but yeah, everyone that's been talking about it has been like, yeah, these 3 all seem pretty solid.
Yeah, so we'll
I think
hopefully
especially like putting Sunny in there with someone like May as well, who's like pretty good trainer.
Well,
too.
Sunny is clearly the high speed of the group, like you
Yeah.
know, the high speed wrestler of the group, and in there with Mei Saruga is perfect. Zones is the bruiser, and so is Hiroyu Matsumoto is the bruiser, and like although I think Chi-Chi is sort of being positioned as the de facto ace.
Yeah.
So that is Evolution. And Paul, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I guess maybe going back to Noah a bit, because it's like, I don't know if you have that same feeling as well. Like, it feels like that whole promotion is in like a weird holding pattern at the moment.
Yes.
Like, it just feels like
because
it's just kind of floating in space.
it does in a way. Because it's like Go's coming back and he's not back yet. What's Jake doing with the title? I mean, I don't know. I like that show for the most part. The juniors stuff was the stuff that really dragged it down for me in any way, but there's definitely flashes of good stuff there. Although I think you did say that the only good thing is the Wagner reign.
Yeah, because it's the only thing that really excites me. Like, I don't think there's anything right now going on in Noah that really like excites me.
I like
Jake-
good-looking guys as a unit.
Yeah, but like I said, that I like it, but I don't think it's like something where I'm like intensely looking forward to it at the moment. Like, I'm cautiously optimistic for Yoi and Tadasuke, but I'm not like being like, oh yeah, that this is like definitely I know for a fact that this will be good. Whereas with Wagner, I think we're at a point now where I'm like, yeah, no, I know the match that he is in will be good. I don't think I really have that for anyone else at the moment. And I think it's also like because like they have the whole feud with All Japan going, but that's obviously on hold where All Japan is doing the Carnival, and I think that's kind of hurting Noah in a way because that feud can't progress in the meantime.
No. And from what I can tell, that first tag title defense by Keno and Soya is going to be in Noah.
Yeah,
probably against Suwama and Kono.
About the Twin Gate as well. Like that.
Yeah.
Like for both of those, he was like, "Yeah, I just won your belt, you idiots, and I'm only one of the defended in Noah."
Yeah. So I mean, that could give Noah some juice in going in, in the middle of May and onwards. But I think, I mean, we might be getting another like upheaval if this Sumo Hall show bombs.
Yeah. And also one more thing, I actually forgot to bring that up when we're talking about All Together. I guess that means we're not getting a Cyberfight festival this year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No announcement, and it would think that you would announce that by now. So that's really strange.
Like they already announced like the rest of the June schedule as well. So it seems like this is taking the spot of that.
Paul, I'm not sure if Cyberfight Festival was the most cost-effective event.
No, it definitely didn't make money. Like even if they had sold more tickets for it, it wouldn't have made money because. But again, I don't think it needed to either. That's the thing.
No. But
so
maybe they realize
they're going to do it later this year. But yeah, like I think it would.
Paul, what are they?
If it's canceled.
What if they do Cyberfight Festival? What are they going to run to like actually draw people?
You bring back
Takeshita versus Jake Lee. Like I don't like.
But to be fair, we never gotten like I actually maybe. But there's no way AEW would agree to Jake Lee to pin one of their guys. Absolutely no way.
No. But I'm just saying there's not a lot of I just doesn't feel like there's a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
Right now.
But again, then I'm asking why we never get any crossover between DDT and Noah if it's not to be safe for Cyberfight Festival.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we'll have to watch and see what that comes, but we'll see. Anyway, so we'll be back in 2 weeks to talk about, well, let's see, 2 weeks. I don't know, Paul, should we just wait till the Carnival ends to come back? Or should we preview Sumo Hall, Noah, and then the Carnival finals?
To be quite honest, you can ask me almost anything, and I'm so tired at the moment that I will just say yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, we may or may not be back, but at the latest, we'll be back right after the Carnival finals. But we'll see how much is on our plate and everything like that. So we will see you in about 2-ish weeks and a bit. So take care, everyone.
Do you love wrestling? Do you love All Elite Wrestling? Make sure you check out The Good, the Bad, and the Hungy here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. My name is Tyler Fornes, and my co-host Fred Moreland and I discuss all the happenings of All Elite Wrestling across the universe, including when they make trips overseas. We talk about Dark, we talk about Rampage, we talk about Dynamite, and everything in between, including Tony Khan and his both brilliant and confusing booking. Make sure you check us out. We drop our shows on Thursdays to make sure that we keep up with Dynamite and make sure we give you all the current happenings in All Elite Wrestling.
Hello there, my name's Neil David and I'm the host of Eurograps Express, the podcast exclusively dedicated to the wrestling of Europe. If it's wrestling and it happens in Europe and it's good, we talk about it. Whether it's Rev Pro, Progress, WXW, Passion Pro, Pro Wrestling Chaos, Pro Wrestling North, we don't care, we talk about them all. If it's good and it's exciting, I want to share it with you. We're on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Check us out on the feed, check us out on Twitter at EuroGrapsEXP, and join us for chat about European wrestling and a little bit of chat about cheese. Hopefully see you there.